Hello, listeners. For those of you unfamiliar, back in 2022, the Morbid Curiosity podcast had a giveaway in which we gave away the game codes for a cozy little game called Strange Horticulture. This game was developed by Bad Viking, a video game development company made up of two brothers, Rob and John Donkin.
I'm Rob, and I was the primary coder, or the only coder, and did most of the audio as well, and a lot of the narrative, although a lot of stuff we kind of shared roles on. So, narrative and stuff, we're bouncing ideas around together, and the game design and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, primarily I'm the coder, I suppose.
I'm John. I'm Rob's older brother, and I'm the other half of Bad Viking. I do all the art side of things, really. But as Rob says, we dip into all sorts of things as a two-man team, and we get involved in everything. So I'm doing things like all the art, all the UI design, all the animation, and then involved with the story, the game design, the puzzles, bits of writing. I mean, I'm missing loads of stuff, but it just feels like when there's two of you, you kind of
do a bit of everything.
Yeah, a bit of everything. It's a lot. It's full on.
You have a new game coming out soon.
Yeah.
Strange Antiquities. That sounds really interesting. Can I ask? I don't want to spoil anything. I've read a couple little snippets about it, but the first thing that came to mind when I read what this game was going to be about was the Pitt Rivers Museum.
Oh, cool.
And then when I went online and read about what you guys have done in the research you're doing for the game, it said that you'd been to the Pitt Rivers Museum. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah. Basically, I'd been before to the Pitt Rivers in quite a few years ago now, and it had sort of always been in the back of my mind as like somewhere that really an inspiring place for a game like Strange Antiquities, which is very much like a follow-up, set in the same universe, same concept, but with more sort of occult items as Strange Horticulture. So we're like, yeah, we got to go. I said to Rob, we got to go on a research trip. We got to go to the Pitt Rivers. Okay, so let me set the scene for people who don't know what the Pitt Rivers is. It's a museum in Oxford. And like most museums, they're heavily curated, a lot of care and attention is put into what items are on display, how they're arranged with like printed labels, and they're all neatly put into these glass cases. And the vast majority of the stuff is not even on display. It's just like really curated. Then you go to the Pitt Rivers and it's entirely different. Well, it feels different. It's not like a massive museum, but it's just full of atmosphere and intrigue. And there's like this small natural history section at the front, but it's the back room that's like this real gem. And it's like a fascinating anthropological collection of loosely curated trinkets, curiosities, artifacts from cultures all over the world, like piled high in these glass cabinets with handwritten labels, and then enclosed in this like large high ceiling room, all presided over by some 40-foot totem pole.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. Like there's like hidden drawers with artifacts you'd probably miss. And it's basically everything about that we were trying to encapsulate with Strange Antiquities. So it was great. Just loved it.
It's a cool museum. It's quite special.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing quite like it, is there? Like, as I said, like everything else is so thought out and put together. And this is just like, we're going to just leave it as it was like 100 years ago. And
I mean, I feel bad for the curators of the Pitt Rivers Museum. It's not like they just threw it all in. It's just a big pile. Like, it is curated.
Yes, it is, but it's got so much charm,
yeah,
and atmosphere. And I kind of almost wish there were more museums like that.
Yeah, just like somebody's personal pile of stuff that they have.
Yeah, it's just a real kind of collection of treasures. It feels like there's just so much to look at, I think, and just really interesting seeing like the displays from all these different cultures and how all the influences kind of merge into each other. It's really cool.
Or they've had to curate it a little bit more recently, just with repatriation laws and things.
Yeah, and there was the controversy around the shrunken heads as well.
Yes, that was what I was going to ask you about.
They had to remove those, which I can see why they did that, why they wouldn't want those on display necessarily, but I have to say they are memorable. They were memorable because I saw them when I went previously, and they were fascinating. Yeah. But Indigenous people have long argued that they shouldn't have their ancestors on display, and you kind of see it makes sense to remove them.
And for listeners, if you want to know more about shrunken heads, we have done a previous episode about them.
Perfect. And who wouldn't want to know more about shrunken heads?
I know, right? Shrunken heads are awesome. Did you have a favorite object from your visit to the Pit Rivers?
Yes. There's so many cool things, but there's a whole section that's to do with sort of witchcraft, and in particular, there's a silver bottle, and it's said to contain a witch. And before we came on here, I actually pulled out what the handwritten label says because it's so cool. It just says silvered and stoppered bottle said to contain a witch. Obtained about 1915 from an old lady living in a village near Hove, Sussex. She remarked, "And they do say there be a witch in it, and if you let her out, there be a peck o' trouble."
Oh, whoa, that is awesome.
I thought that was just cool. It's got the witch's remains, and if you unstopper the bottle, then the witch will escape.
You don't want that.
No. But yeah, I just thought that was that's kind of cool, and it's very much the vibe we're going for with Strange Antiquities. So,
there was lots of stuff like that, wasn't there? I mean, it's hard to remember specific examples now, but there were all sorts of kind of cool occulty type things like that.
Did you take inspiration from those objects, or did you kind of do similar as you did with Strange Horticulture, where you looked at them and then kind of came up with your own version of the antiquities?
Yeah, I'd say pretty much that. There are some that I think take slightly more direct inspiration, but mostly we've kind of done our own versions of them, or just kind of taken different elements from several items maybe. There's an element of not wanting to take too much direct inspiration from stuff, like particularly if maybe something has cultural significance, or like we don't want to use stuff in the wrong way,
Yes.
So yeah, we've tried to be careful to avoid that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, very much they are our own collection of occult artifacts, but they might draw inspiration from items that exist in the real world, and whether that inspiration be from what they are said to do, or it might be in just the visual look of it, a look and feel from it. But they're very much our own ideas and there are our own names and things. And, in the same way that for Strange Horticulture we created our own versions of plants, these are very much our own versions of occult items as well.
Do you have a release date in mind?
We don't yet. No, nothing announced yet.
Darn.
Still working on the game, to be honest. So we're cracking on.
I saw the picture of Jupiter the cat.
Mm.
Oh, he's cute.
Thank you.
Yes, if one thing we learned from Strange Horticulture, it's always include a cat.
Always include a cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to do something different, so he's a tabby cat, and we've also given him heterochromia, which I thought was a really cool idea.
Beautiful, beautiful green eye and blue eye. Isn't that right? He's got a green and a blue?
Green or maybe yellow and blue. I can't remember.
Well, the problem is we're both colorblind.
Oh,
So... yeah.
Both colorblind. Oh no.
Yeah, that was an absolute nightmare when we were designing the plants and writing the descriptions.
It was quite funny when you write this blue plant, and it's like someone turns around to you and says, "No, that's purple, I'm afraid."
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
It took us quite a while our publishers helped a lot with that, because when they were testing, they kept coming back with, "Rob, this plant is not orange."
Oh no. I'm very excited for Strange Antiquities to come out.
Thank you so much for having us on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much.